Welcome back. In this video, let's go through Lakeflow Designer. This is a no-code data prep tool in Databricks. I will be showing the example on the screen where we can choose different sources and have different filters, aggregate, and all sorts of things. This is the flow that I will be showing you. I created this with just one single prompt and it was handled by Genie code. I will first walk you through what Lakeflow Designer is all about and the different functionalities of the Lakeflow Designer in the UI itself. And I will show you the prompt that I used to create this flow. The idea here is that Genie code is not just as an assistant. It creates the whole pipeline or the flow that you are seeing in the screen so that you also get the idea how you can work along with it, and you can of course change the parameters and so on as you go. It might be helpful. I was exploring this and decided to create this so that you might also get more knowledge about this Lakeflow Designer. Let's get started with the official documentation first. I will go through the documentation here. It says that prepare and transform data with AI first authoring directly on Databricks, right? I will provide the link in the description of the video. I am not going to go each and every aspect of this. You can see there is already the demo part and explore the documentation. If I click this explore documentation, you can see there are different examples and it is updated July 2024, meaning today is 25, so just yesterday it was updated when I'm recording this video. You can see what is Lakeflow Designer, all sorts of things is here for you to get more into this topic. And you can even go here into ask Genie and you can ask here also if you want more things. This is the new way of learning these days. In the main website itself, you can see how the data flow can be done and all the different companies that they have been using this. Okay, it is self-service, fully governed part, AI native authoring that just works, simple path to the production. And the good part here is that once the flow is being created, it also provides you the code so that you can double check in the fly. The main part is the drag and drop functionality. If you don't want to write the code manually in the SQL editor, then you can just drag and drop and the code will be created for you. There are many ways how you can do the same thing, but maybe this drag and drop canvas helps you to build the transformations on the visual canvas. And this is what I mentioned, step-by-step validation can be done, AI native authoring and production ready code governed by Databricks, meaning it is in the Unity catalog data path. So yeah, you can see simple to use, build for real data work, explore the data, prepare the data, enrich the data sets, and you can even do the automated workflow, meaning you can schedule the task. Here is all the things. I will provide you the link. But now let's directly go into the UI itself. This is the one example that I said I will show you. I will open this in a new tab for now, just to show you how it looks like, right? Let me open the side menu here. Here there is this visual data prep, not to be confused, because I was talking about Lakeflow Designer and you might be thinking, okay, where is the Lakeflow Designer? Don't go with the naming convention, because in Databricks, the new functionality, the name keeps changing all the time. You can go to this data engineering part, and inside it, there we have the visual data prep. You click on the visual data prep and here you can see it says visual data prep, no code data prep. And now you see this get started with the designer and was the demo and all sorts of things, right? And of course there is the filter. You can do normal Databricks things here. Now you can click on the top one here, create. If I go into the create, now the canvas will be here. Let me now make this smaller so that you also see it in a bigger screen, right? Here you can see on the left side, let's walk through the UI first, because I will show you the example of how I did it in my previous example that I just show you. Here I will show you what sort of things you can do. On the top here is the menu, and here we have these operators, and you can search for the operator, and they are even grouped by different things. Here is the source, intro data, output, and so on. This is the source and the output part, right? There is AI transformation, so you can use the AI functions to analyze the data, right? And the main part is the transformations here, right? AI transformation is where you can ask the questions and so on with the help of AI. But if you want to do manually things, because not every time you need to use AI, but it's up to you, your choice. And here is the aggregate, combine, filter, all sorts of transformations that you can do in Databricks, right? This is one part, and there is also this other where you can write the notes and group visualizations and so on directly in the canvas. And the next thing is that you can also have these user defined operators. This is on the left panel, and you can even have these parameters as you do in the data world. And here is the table of contents, meaning that whatever is being built, it will come here as a table of contents, so that you can go to the particular part of it and see what is the code being generated and what is the flow that has been provided to you. I will show you that in the examples. And here, this is this feet view. Once you are drawing this canvas, there is this zoom in, zoom out. This is this auto layout, and here the feedback section, and here is the serverless part. There is the schedule part here, and if you go to these three dots, you can see the commit to Git, clone, rename, export Databricks functionalities, and schedule, share, and so on. Everything is baked in, and this is the main canvas here. And now you can see this is this Genie part of it, where it is saying describe how you want to transform. After this, there are different ways you can do it. You can attach the file, you can add the rate. For example, if I add the rate, you can see all sorts of tables, notebooks, and so on. I can reference to that, and it will be taking that as a reference here. The third one is the view thread in a side pan, meaning that whatever I ask in the Genie code can be seen here, right? And here, this is this send icon, and you can select a source. For example, just to show you, if I just go here and say select a source, you can see now the new UI pops up here, and from here I can select the source of the dataset. Let me cancel this preview for now. Now you can see on the left one, there is the table of contents automatically being populated. And here is the main canvas where you see the flow of the data, and here you can edit the source and so on with the context and all sorts of things. And on the side, you can already browse the data from your Unity catalog like this. You can see I have different catalogs, and I can go inside it. Or another option is create a table from the file. If you click this one, it will take you to the UI where you can just upload the data, and you can do from here, or you can directly drag the files here. Just to show you, let's say that if I want to drag some file, let's say that I want to drag this Meridian customers I have here. If I just drag here, you can see it will be created in the volume. Here it says overwrite the same file, because I already have the file there. I can overwrite this also, and there is this destination volume, and I can create a volume there. When you drag here, it will be in the volume. But if you already create the catalog, then you can just link that to the catalog. This is the two different aspects that you need to be taking care. Another option is also that you can connect to your external sources, Google Drive, SharePoint, and so on. This is all the things that you can see in the canvas. But let me go to the one that I already created before, right? This is the canvas that I already created. Before going into the canvas, what I want from my dataset is I already have these three different volumes being created, similarly how I showed you, right? Just to show you, if I go into this first icon here, so this was all created by Genie code. I will show you, right? But here is the source, and then there is the filters being provided, and you can see I have one source, there is a filter, second source, there is a join, third source, there is a join, and then there is aggregate and all sorts of things. And on the left side, there is step-by-step things. There is the customer source. If you click, it shows you here. There is the Meridian, the next source, and then there is the next source. There is a filter. You can see there is the filter operation, inner join, left join, aggregate the tickets, and add the churn columns. And because I want to have columns for my customer, the main idea is that. And at the end, I can see the data that is being prepared for me. This is how the flow looks like in the data preparation, the pipeline. This was created by the Genie code. What I provided first, I first created the volume. Inside the data science basics, I have YouTube. Inside the YouTube, I have this Lakeflow being created. And you can see I have these three different volumes being created. There is this Meridian. If I scroll this, there is CSV, Meridian customer CSV, there is Meridian subscriptions and Meridian support tickets CSV that I have been using. You can use whatever you want to create. But then if I just go back here, I can go into this prompt that I provided to the Genie code. You don't see from where I can provide the prompt, right? But if you just go here and click this side view thread in the side panel, this is where it will show you the prompt that you provided. Let's go through the prompt that what I provided, because to provide the AI assistant or the agent, you need to be providing clear instruction as if you are creating the flow, right? That is what I did here. I said using, and I provided these data sets here, Meridian customer CSV, and I said Meridian subscription and Meridian support tickets. You can even provide direct volume path to this. It might ask you the volume path later. And I'm saying here filter customers to region APAC. This is one of the customers that I want. And plan tier enterprise. I want it to have these two different things. And I said inner join the results with Meridian subscriptions on customer ID. Left join that with this one. And then I said customer ID and this one. So no tickets aren't dropped, right? Aggregate by customer ID, company name, and all sorts of things. I'm not going to read all this, but you get the point there. I'm saying do this, and after that step, do the filter, aggregation, or create the columns and such. And here I'm even saying that, okay, I want for the churned one, I want the healthy, I want the low for 0 to 2, medium for 3 to 5, and high above 5, and so on. And I want the last result to be stored inside the volume. And you can see here I'm saying gradient, chunk, risk, view, and so on. So you can even provide where you want to have that being stored. With this, you just provided the prompt, and now what happens here, you can see it went through 11 steps. First, it failed to find all different things, and then it tries itself, and it reads from it, it reads the skills and so on. And by the way, the skills, I have already provided this in my Genie code. You know what kind of skills that you need to provide. Once you provide the skills, and you can see the workflow is now correctly built step by step, because the Genie code now knows your data, what kind of transformations that you want to do, and so on. It provides you end-to-end flow. This is the flow that was being created. Now let me just close this first, and I will show you this fit screen. If I go into this, there is a preview, right? The good part of this flow is that once you have this data, it will already show as a preview down here. And if I go to the next one, now you can see there is this two panel being shown. First, what is the input? This is the customer's source. Input and output is there. Now here's the output included. You can see included, excluded. If I go to the next one, that is the source. And if I go to this part, now you can see this input, filter customers, and output. Once you attach these flows, you can see the output or the preview of the data after these transformations down here. You can do the source operation, filter, and explore the columns from the single view. This is one thing, right? And the next thing which I really liked is, let's say that I went down here into the table of contents, and I want to see what is the code that is being used to create the filter, right? I go to the filter here, right? I will click this arrow here. Let me close this one. And here there is two things. One is the config, read only. If you click this, you will see the config here, ID, filter, template, and all sorts of things being used here. And the next one is the generated code. If you click this one, let me make this bigger, you will see the code being generated to do this transformation. You can see there is this PySpark SQL function here being used, and down here it will show you all the code. You can copy this and run separately in the notebook or wherever you want to run it. This is how it is showing you everything there. The result at the end is in the Unity catalog, right? That means that it's governed. You can provide access to, you want to provide access to, and so on. This is a really good aspect of this also. And as I said before also, you can schedule this, right? If you click the schedule one, so now here I have the Lakeflow YouTube example. This is the name of the Lakeflow Designer. There is the interval and schedule. I can just go here and do every 1 day, serverless compute, auto scaling, and so on. Or you can go to schedule and what time you want to schedule, and then you can just create it, and that will be used. You need to be careful in selecting the compute. If you want to know more information, click this eye icon. It says configure the compute that will execute the task. You can use the serverless compute, an existing all-purpose cluster, or specify classic cluster. It's up to you which one you want to use based on your use case, and just schedule the task. This is how you can do things. Well, there are many ways how you can do the transformation of the data, but I think that this Lakeflow Designer and along with this Genie code You don't need to be going step by step. What I did is I first went through this Genie code. In one shot, it did the thing. But if it was not doing the thing for you, just to show you, I go to this one, I go to the preview. I can already see from here what is being done, right? I can see only the customers for APAC is being shown and so on. Here, this is the renewed, and I went to the next one. Here, you can see now more columns are being created, and now I have this proxy, priority, category, and also I can see the satisfaction score and so on. And now I have this last one where I want to create the columns, and now you can see here it says average satisfaction, status, and all sorts of things. And at the end, I have this last column where it says the status, active, churned, and what is the total tickets and so on. I can already see the final output from this Canvas UI itself. Or then now you can go to this catalog here, and I have saved this in this Lakeflow Meridian. You can see here I have all the columns here. I can now do the more exploration, or I can provide this to my downstream task or wherever I want to use this from this particular final table. It's up to you which way you want to proceed, but I thought of creating this video where it went back and forth in different aspects, but my idea here is to show you what you can do and how Genie code might help you in generating the flows and so on. Databricks has been evolving. There are many videos I'm planning to create, but this one just clicked me, and I thought this is a good way to learn the new things and see already from here what went wrong and what is to be prepared next. So yeah, that's all I want to show you in this video. I hope you learned something new. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.